Texas at Georgia, Saturday, 7:30 Eastern kickoff, ABC. Texas at Georgia, man. This game is fueled by Quick Trip. We'll be there. So we're looking forward to this one. This one was one you could see from miles away. You circled it in spring. Think about being a Georgia season ticket holder. You got the Bama game at night. You had Ole Miss come in there. You get Texas at night. Unbelievable year to be a Georgia season ticket holder. Texas is rested. Georgia's on their third straight game. They played Florida. They won. They played Mississippi State. They won convincingly. Texas, 11-3 since joining the SEC. But that doesn't really matter in this game because two of those losses are to Georgia, and they both happened last year, and Texas had a combined 60 yards rushing in those two games. So, this is the final SEC game for Georgia. This is it. They got two out-of-conference games to end the year, so their conference resume is done and in the bag Saturday around midnight. What's it going to look like? Arch Manning, been leveling up lately. He's got a shot to blow up here. This could be Arch's unofficial official arrival on the big stage. So who can run it? I don't really want to talk about guys throwing the ball yet. Who can run the ball? Georgia has done a great job. I know it's dirty talk to give praise to Mike Bobo. The closer you get to Athens, Georgia, the less they want to give Mike Bobo praise. But you know what? We're a pro-Bobo show. We always have been. So I'll give him praise because when I look at this piece of paper, knowing how bad it looked last year, and I see Georgia as a top 25 rushing outfit right now, that is cause for celebration. So give him a cake. Let him lick the icing off the candles, do whatever he wants to. I don't even know when his birthday is. Give him a cake. But then tell him Texas has got the second best run defense in the country. He won't be scared, but he needs to be aware of it. Texas almost certainly will struggle to run it. Because until further notice, I don't know that Texas can match physicality with Georgia, which needs to be in the hype video. It needs to be played in the building. You had two shots last year. You got a frying pan to the face both games, including one where the backup quarterback came back on you. But again, you couldn't run the ball on them last year. Two games, and you barely got to have 100 rushing yards. It's not a phrase I've ever used before. Now, Texas's running back room should be as healthy as it's been all year. So there's that. I don't expect a good rushing game out of Texas. We may get one out of Georgia, but it's a pride spot for Texas. Georgia doesn't have anything to question their pride about. Texas does. They got a lot more to prove in this game than Georgia does. Georgia could lose this game by 30, and I'd still know overall what Georgia football is under Kirby Smart. We're still kind of trying to find out what Texas football is going to be long-term under Sark. Are we not? I think we are. But imagine this headline in July. Scratch that. Imagine this question if I were to ask it to you in July. If I said, hey, you seen the schedule? You seen November 12, 13, 14, what is this, 15th? November 15th, I think it'll be, Jesse. Have you seen who plays who second week in November? Texas at Georgia. What if I told you in July that game is destined to come down to quarterback play? In July, who would you have thought that favors? Gunnar Stockton versus Arch Manning. You would have said huge edge Texas. I would have. I would have said huge edge to Texas. What do you think now? Who's the big edge there? If it comes down to that. And I'm saying that because I think it will. Who's the big edge there? It could be Gunnar Stockton. As of late, Arch Manning's come on a little bit. Georgia pass defense outside the top 50. Texas pass defense in the 90s. So both quarterbacks are going to have some work that they can do against the opposition's secondary. I completely trust Gunnar Stockton and how he's elevated and how he's a field general now is what he is. Fully in full command of the offense. Rusty Manziel was in the building today. Had a nice little lengthy convo with him about, honestly, a lot of stuff that I can't say on air. But some of it was about Gunnar Stockton. And some of it was about the freedom he has to operate within that offense, the willingness now that he has, both operating the offense and throwing the ball that he didn't exactly exhibit early in the season. See, that's the hallmark of these really, really good programs with offensive staffs that know what they're doing. their quarterbacks continue to get better throughout the year. You notice how that happens? It always randomly seems to happen at Georgia. I know Mike Bobo can't coach himself out of a wet paper bag, according to some of you, but his quarterbacks just keep improving throughout the year. It's crazy. He hasn't paid me anything, by the way. Hey, wait just a second. I appreciate you guys watching. Most of you are subscribed. If you're not, please do so. It's free. It helps us keep the show free, and that's how we do college football year-round. All right, back to the video. There's been a lot of disproportionate Mike Bobo love. It's only because the dude gets trashed relentlessly, like anytime Georgia goes 3 and out. So I just want to counter the little scale there with some Mike Bobo praise. I trust Gunnar Stockton. Can I trust Arch Manning here? Is he beginning to do the same thing? Georgia, very low havoc rate. They have struggled to get after the quarterback. They're a low in sack rate. They're low in takeaways. Texas is not that way. They're top 10 havoc rate. They're top 15 in sacks. So Gunnar Stockton faces a little different challenge from the other side of the ball than maybe Arch does from Georgia. I am convinced I have figured out where this game will be decided. 2 categories: tackle and yards after catch. Specifically, tackling in space and yards after catch. We saw a CJ Vogel stat that I had to put on the show. Gunnar Stockton and Arch Manning are 1 and 2 in the SEC in pass attempts behind the line of scrimmage. Allow me to translate. Both of these programs recruit premier athletes that they trust to do things with the ball in their hand. And if you can't tackle, then yards after catch becomes the most important stat in this game. And so sometimes I predict the padlock stats. Missed tackles, yards after catch, those in some shape, form, or fashion, I think will be the padlock stats in this game. I walked in the building today, and I always guess what I'm going to do before I break the game down. I was like 60% leaning, I'm going to bet Texas. I'm going to pick Texas. I'm going to do it. And then I thought to myself, how can I trust Texas to flip all the critical factors in this game? They are winless versus Georgia last year. They really got humbled twice against Georgia. Georgia is nearly perfect at home. I trust Kirby and his staff in this spot more than I trust Sark and his staff. That's no disrespect. They've earned the right for me to say that about them, and the Texas side has not earned the right for it to be said about them. Texas on the road this year. They faced Ohio State, they lost. They faced Florida, they lost. They faced Kentucky and narrowly won. They faced Mississippi State and narrowly won. They have not been a good road program, and they're going to a place where the home team virtually never loses, and it's the best team outside of Ohio State that they will have faced on the road all year. What they need is a repeat of that Bama moment they had in 2023, I think it was. You remember Sark in Texas, they go on the road, they beat Alabama. It was like a huge coming out party, and it was them announcing their arrival. Was it really, though? It was a great win. But was it really? Did that fundamentally alter the course of college football? No, not in the way a lot of people thought it would. Let's take a look at what the model thinks. FanDuel's got Georgia as a 6.5-point favorite right now. Now, you know what the model thinks about Texas. I almost hesitated to even show you that the model, shockingly, only has Georgia -4. The model has long been tied at the hip with Texas. Texas is 117th in the country in penalties. I think home field is going to matter here. Home field, a lot gets said about Sanford Stadium. I can tell you at night, especially, big-time opponent in town. It's a special place. Now, Bama went in there, and they took care of business earlier this year. They were razor sharp on third down. It was the most efficient offensive performance they probably had all year. They still only won by 3. I don't think Texas can go in there and be that efficient against Georgia. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. But what I do think is Texas will compact the game, and I don't think Georgia will pull away. So I don't have a strong feel on the game other than those factors that I just said all lean Georgia. So I think it's a close game and a one-possession game. So I'm going to do the thing where I take Georgia to win and Texas to cover, which just means I think it's going to be close and I'm not betting on it. But Kirby and his staff have found a way in these one-possession games for a couple of years now, and I think they're going to find a way in a one-possession game to win it again Saturday. But it's going to be it's going to be a very, very memorable weekend in Athens, Georgia. Temperatures in the low 70s, I think upper 60s at kickoff, so it's going to be a good one.